Isolation protocol day 88, Friday, something in June, middle of June, whatever, 12th, I think. Uh, yeah, dark, dreary day, but Carrie had already planned to pick me up a few fresh veggies and stuff, so salads and salad making stuff. So she swung by and brought by some lunch also. While I was waiting for her, I decided I was going to do, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me, going to do some yard work. My driveway is so overgrown, I can barely walk down it. So I got the loppers out and I start trimming the lemon tree that is encroaching far too much onto the driveway. Open up my compost bin and it's full. Uh, I had told my neighbor that he could go ahead and use it since he's the one who's doing my lawn anyway, and I just completely forgot to check and see if there was anything in it uh, when the pickup was on Tuesday, so it's full. So I got a pile of lemon tree branches on the ground next to the lemon tree. Anyhow, Carrie pulled up just as let me back up a little bit. So just as I am ready to try and chop them up smaller and see if I can cram them in, which I changed my mind, decided wasn't going to work, it started raining. So I rush over to my front porch and climb up and sit there reading a book. I had brought my Kindle out with me and some water to take a break because I knew I was going to need a break. And then Carrie pulls up with lunch, backs her truck up onto the front yard, and we have a tailgate party with me on the porch and her about 10 feet away on the tailgate. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. We've only done this. This is the third time now in 88 days. Uh, but the guys at the burrito shop, apparently business is much, much slower than I really even thought that it was. I really need to try getting out and seeing what's going on in the neighborhood. But business is so slow that they knew what my order was, and this is only the third time that Carrie's been there to pick me up something. So, yeah, nice guys too, apparently. Uh, they always you always get a pinch of tortilla chips and some salsa when you order a burrito, and they gave me and Carrie big handfuls of chips. Yeah, like I need chips. Uh, so anyhow, yeah, we had a nice picnic. Fortunately, it only rained for a few minutes. It stopped just as Carrie pulled up. Just as we were finishing eating and chatting, the wind picked up and it was cold. Oh my gosh, a cold wind. Could be that I was also still hot and sweaty from trimming bushes and stuff and trying to do the side yard and driveway. But yeah, between all that, when the wind picked up, I got cold. So Carrie gave me my groceries and threw some dog food in the house, and actually I left the door open and she kind of threw it onto the doorway. Uh, yeah, so we had a pretty good time. But I am exhausted and my back is killing me, which is why I am slouching like this. I also had thrown the dogs outside, so they were underneath the porch with their heads sticking out, and Joe kept giving them treats. All right, Joe kept giving them tortilla chips. So they've been passing gas all afternoon. Oh, what else? Not much in the way of knitting or crocheting. I'm still working, slogging away, stitch by stitch, on that white sweater. Uh, It's coming along nicely, but it's at the point where if I were to hold it up today, you would not be able to tell how much more I had done, so I'm not going to bother with that. Uh, I've been doing a lot of reading, trying to find more indie authors, especially indie fantasy, because of this reading challenge for a Facebook group. And One of the things that I do when I'm reading is life is too short to waste on books that you don't love. So if I decide that I'm not loving a book that I'm reading, I'll give it one, maybe two more chapters to turn around and pull me in again. And if I still don't like it, set it aside. So out of the last 5 books that I have started, I have finished 0. And the reading challenge is to finish a book. So I may just, have to read one that I really don't love. But yeah, I've got a few hundred on the Kindle, so probably about the same on the Nook, and pretty close to the same in paper. So it's not like I have a shortage of books to read. Anyhow, so yeah, that's what I've been doing is reading, a little bit of editing, not a heck of a lot. And so I thought I would read a little bit more of the next chapter, which is in Girl Unseen, chapter 8. And this is right after Reese goes flying out of Mr. Fields' homework club. All right, I'm just going to dive right in here. Oh. Reese raced the first few blocks away from the high school before turning down a small side street. She was suddenly afraid that Mr. Fields would drive by in his silent little electric car and see her. She continued toward the McIntyre's house by a meandering route through small residential streets. It would only make her day worse if she got back before Mrs. McIntyre left for bingo and Mr. McIntyre had passed out drunk. The only good thing about Fridays was that the girls left with their fake IDs to go to some club downtown, although Fridays then turned into weekends when she wasn't able to get away at all. She was lost in thought when she heard a familiar voice call her name. Reese looked around. Voices echoed in these closely built houses. She found Lizzie waving frantically 2 houses down, and they met halfway. Serendipity! That's the word, right? We were trying to figure out how to contact you. Nobody has your number, and there isn't any Zila listed anywhere. We were just about to give up, and here you come. Let the girl breathe, Lizzie. Mitchell was lounging on a porch swing. Susan rolled her eyes. Paula put down her flute. We were going for pizza. Want to come? Reese gave a genuine smile. She had never been invited to join a group for pizza like that, or anything like that. Yeah, pizza sounds great. She tried to will her tense muscles to relax. Good, then you can be the deciding vote for what we get. Lizzie wrapped her arm around Reese's shoulder and pulled her onto a bench. Reese stiffened, her body still on high alert from the encounter with Mr. Fields. I mean, please vote for vegetarian, please, Mitchell and Susan begged. Sausage and pepperoni with olives. Paula and Lizzie chimed in together. This was obviously a common argument. It was even more obvious when they got to Plaza Pizzeria and the guy behind the counter asked if they wanted their usual. Their usual turned out to be half pepperoni sausage with olive and half extra veggies. Reese was enjoying just listening to their easy banter when the conversation turned to her. So, what's your phone number? In case we want to do this again. Of course we're going to do this again. Mitchell gave Lizzie a playful shove. We do this every Friday. I don't have a phone. I know that, but don't you have like a home phone? Reese shook her head. I'm not supposed to give it out. Even to friends? Lizzie looked shocked. I'd die if I couldn't talk to my friends. Any time, day or night, added Susan. I said I was sorry. I didn't realize it was 2 o'clock. In the morning, Susan explained to Reese, rolling her eyes. Your parents must be really strict. Reese had become a little too comfortable with the group, and before she could stop herself, she blurted out, They're not my parents. Ooh, do tell. Not if you don't want everyone finding out. Lizzie and her big mouth. Mitchell leaned back and folded his arms across his chest with a glare at Lizzie. Hey, it wasn't me who told everyone that you were living with your uncle because your dad kicked you out. Reese looked shocked. She had known lots of foster kids growing up, but never someone whose parents actually kicked them out. Why? Lizzie continued. 'Cause what he is. Reese stared at Mitchell. What? Vegetarian? An actor? Susan and Paula giggled, and Lizzie rolled her eyes so hard her entire head swung into a big loop, and her ponytail hit Reese in the face. OMG, isn't it obvious? He's gay? I live with my mom's brother since Dad decided to run against Senator Wyland in the next election, and my dad is very anti-gay. He said it would make him look like a hypocrite if I continued to live with him, so I told him he was a hypocrite, and then I left. Oh, said Reese, that's so sad. Oh, no, it's not. Grammy and Gramps are the best. They live right next door to Uncle Ron. They remind him to feed me and stuff. But enough about me. What's your story? Reese couldn't brush it off after hearing about Mitchell, so she started in at the beginning. Well, you know how I kind of implied that I was born in a cabbage patch? Actually, the pizza was long gone before she finished her story. We're having a sleepover at Paula's. You should really stay. You can keep telling us about yourself. Way to put her on the spot, Lizzie, Mitchell complained. Reese was beginning to see that the good-natured teasing was actually based on a long, deep friendship. Based on her recent record, she probably wouldn't be in this placement long enough to find her place in the group, but for once she decided she was going to enjoy it while it lasted. So with only a brief thought of the McIntyres' reaction, she agreed. A movie, more popcorn than she had ever seen, and a late-night talk show later, they finally got around to Reese's story again. So you don't remember anything about your real parents? Mitch tried to rescue her. A little tact, Lizzie. Well, I don't know if it's a memory or a dream, but never mind, it's silly. Well, it could be an important clue. Go ahead. When the others stopped arguing about whether Lizzie was pressuring her, Reese capitulated. Fine. I think I remember flying through the air. My mom was holding me. She had red hair and it was spreading out behind her and she was laughing. Mitchell looked blankly off into space. My dad used to do that. Hold me up into the air and spin me around. Why would you think that was a dream? Well, there were butterflies and flowers. Giant. I mean, really huge, like flowers like trees. You were really small. They probably just seemed bigger. I guess. And that is chapter 8. It was longer, but I trimmed a little bit off of it, and yeah. Uh, Again, it is just barely edited, and I am getting ready to send it off to a couple of readers and my editor to let me know what else needs to be fixed, altered, changed, edited, cut, added to, whatever. So, yeah, that was chapter 8 of Girl Unseen, and I am going to go get another drink of water and fall asleep because too much yard work and I am stiff and sore. So, catch you later. Bye.